Hey everyone, Detain here. In this video I'm going to go over our Tempest Keep speedrun that we just cleared with a time of 52:11, which is currently world 3rd for clear time. Just like the SSC video that I did previously, my goal here is to articulate what I was thinking as I was going through this run, as well as identify all the mistakes I made along the way, things to improve on, and just go over the run itself. Yeah, here we go. So this is going to be our first pull going in here. We did combine the patrol as well as this entire first pack just to get a little bit extra damage off right off the bat. Usually it's the pally tank getting the majority of it, obviously, and then the ferals pulling out the big whirlwind guy, the marshal there, just to get him a little bit out of range, but still in range of AoE. I'm just kind of picking up 1 or 2 targets and taunting stuff as it gets loose to help out with things. Something that can be very dangerous on this pull itself, though, is any of the tanks getting mind controlled, but specifically the paladin tank. We did see that on PTR where he got MC'd, and just be ready if that does happen. AoE taunts for that just to hold over. But yeah, it's pretty much only danger here. It's just a high damage way to utilize everyone having their cooldowns up for that first pull. As always, you know, we're still finishing up the kill, but my target was dead. I'm gonna go ahead and start to mark up the next pack. We swapped around how we were killing these a couple times, but I think for this run we pretty much made it so we're always gonna kill the casters first. You can CC those as well. I know a lot of people just will sheep those, kill everything else, and then get to those. For this situation though, we just wanted to nuke them down quicker. As for gear wise, like as in the SSC video, I'm wearing almost entirely threat gear for the majority of, actually almost the entirety of TK. The bosses and most of the trash in here doesn't hit nearly as hard as a lot of the stuff in SSC. The bosses specifically, like there's really not a hard hitting boss in here. And just moving forward down this hallway. Looks like I'm making decent use of my potions and trinkets, so that's learned my lesson after SCC. Well, yeah, should use a potion here, but I think I actually held on to it. Just popping that blood rage, making sure I'm gonna have full rage and burn it as quick as possible. And for the majority of this trash in here, it's just gonna be, you know, stack it up AoE it, pull the guy that AoE's a little bit out so it's still hit by seed and other AoE, but melee can avoid it. Yeah, I should have definitely popped a potion. Not a whole reason not to. Yeah, fairly standard pack, not much else to do here. Just helping tabbing and sundering around, making sure we get more melee damage on everything with full sunders, or devastate. So I believe here, did we pull both? Yeah, we pulled both sides for the Dragonhawks. We were going back and forth about doing this or not because it can get really messy when you're bouncing all around like this. I think we lost Baron there on the pull. Oh no, he actually lived, unless he released. Find out. You can get more AoE damage obviously, but these guys are just constantly knocking anyone in melee range around, and can sometimes knock the paladin tank around. But if they're in good position, you can definitely kill them a lot quicker if you pull them both at the same time. Just getting ping-ponged around. I was just going around and trying to taunt anything that was loose. It looks like, yeah, Baron just got back, so he's helping out now. Trying to grab that guy in the hall. Struggling to get there. I'll probably intervene back here. But, yep, there we go. So use your maneuverability, like just being able to intercept in, intervene out, it's helpful. I think it got taunted off me though. Or actually put it and dripped it. It might make more sense to actually keep these guys in here with the melee and just have like the range maybe the other ones outside. Might make it a little cleaner. Alright, these Phoenix Hawks. Just gonna, I think we just do one at a time. You can do two of these at a time. You just want to have someone to soak the charge, which here unfortunately was Vera. We didn't want him to do it, but typically we'll have like the Pally tank try and get aggro on. Okay, we did pull two. The Paladin tank to just get in combat with them and then get far away so he can take the charges, or get around the corner so he's out of line of sight is another option. And then these things will kind of stay stationary. Just the big thing is getting him into combat quickly. I'm trying to put my chicken on here. Trying to get out of combat, but we keep pulling and keeping everyone in combat. So that was a big mistake I did there. I shouldn't have pulled him out because I think I got someone either charged or yeah, it looks like they lived. Or no, it might have been Iron Thorns. He died there. Leave him there until they die. Otherwise, if you're moving him, there's a chance he's going to charge someone. So that was definitely my fault on that one. I should have just left the other Phoenix there until he was dead. I'm definitely gonna pop at least like another potion by now, so gotta up my potion usage on these couple trash packs. Chicken finally gets equipped. This should be the last Dragonhawk. This is number 4, I believe, so yep, popping a trinket there. And then this is first, depends how you do the fight, but I'm not the first tank on Alar. So me using like all of my cooldowns before is fine because I'm never even touching Alar in phase 1 with the way that we do our strat. I'll show you here in a minute. My trinket set up for the boss. I'm in basically all threat gear. Just double AP trinkets, a lot of the PvP gear, and then the 4-piece tier 5 just for the haste bonus. I'm just gonna get a couple Sunders up to help out and commanding shout the group, and then I'm gonna go to the 180 position. Quick thunderclap on the way out. So the way we do it, and there's multiple ways to do Alar, just depending how you do it, but we do where we have a 180 tank, and so if Alar just moves one platform out of the direction, the same tank gets it. If he goes 180, the other tank gets it. So, and I think the last like 4 weeks we've done it this way, 5 weeks. I don't think I've ever touched him in phase 1. It just constantly is only moving one platform for us. Lots of time to get a full rage bar and all my trinkets come off cooldown. Watch my squawks tick away. But we're melting them rather quickly. Don't seem to get many ads ever on this fight. Usually we'll get like 2 right at the end, that's for the end of the phase, and that's it. I think we have one more platform we'll hit, and then after we hit that platform, it'll be going down to phase 2. Definitely the last platform. So I'm going ahead and getting back to the group. Get in position to pick him up when he lands in the center. So just immediate taunt, pop cooldowns, just pump the right into him. I would say Alar probably hits the hardest out of all the bosses in here, just from an attack perspective. But at no point as a tank do you really feel in danger from him unless you have the armor debuff, and then it's quite hard. But that's more just a issue with that. I think fat fingered last stand there. Definitely had no reason to hit that. So, bit of a waste of that cooldown, but not really needed for the next 8 minutes. It'll be on cooldown. Shouldn't need it. So just try and get back in there as quick as possible, just to keep people from getting flame buffeted. I'm moving him a little bit because all the melee was in fire, so trying to drag them, especially the pets, out because there's limited in where they go. And I definitely dodged at least one of the armor debuffs at this point. I'll turn on that text that shows it. Should have absolutely used a sapper. I could have used 2 sappers during this fight, and I did not. I did pop that super sapper to pick him up, and then the other one to... Actually, wait, no. He'd be immune to it anyway, so I guess, yeah, no reason. Now, stood in a flame patch. And he just charged and kills the shaman, which... That's a buggy thing with Alar in general, is he's still doing a thing where he melees when he charges. So the normal mechanic is just charges and hits, does the charge damage. But he's been meleeing along with it, which is just not ideal. Just seems to be super RNG where he'll just one-shot someone with that, and there's not a whole lot of play around it. So finally got the armor debuff there, Baron taunts, swap over, get some executes in. I was expecting him actually to take the majority of the fight, because usually what happens is I'll get that first armor debuff, he'll taunt, and then he'll just dodge the other ones. So I was prepping to just swap the dual wield and DPS at the end of that fight, but it's not how it played out. Alright, heading over to Solarian. So I think we're gonna pull the 2 big guys first, if I remember correctly. And I was yelling out about I have still the debuff, and I was worried about it. Oh yeah, we had the pat first. So I was worried about the debuff, but it's fallen off just before they'll get here, so it's fine. I think we had some confusion about who was picking up what here. Didn't intervene, which he ended up swapping targets. That didn't work out too well. So once they're gathered up, just as with almost everything in here, just AoE and burn. I definitely could have tabbed and sundered a little bit more earlier. There, we'll pull these 2 sentinel guys. We're using the prop pally on the second one right now. He seems to be able to live through the overcharge hit, which is for like 17k arcane damage. Which warrior will typically spell reflect. We were using our arms warrior to do it, but it just seems like a waste to have to wait for the gear swaps. So like I'll reflect it, hits for like 17k. And I just kind of watch when the warrior pulled aggro at the worst possible time there, and Leo gets killed by that. But I kept tabbing over whenever he was casting it so that I could taunt if needed from the paladin. I think a couple times later on he gets pretty low, and I just taunt it just to give the healers an extra second. We mark up the 2 squires, try and pull them a little bit out. Close enough to where they're still getting hit by the AoE. But far enough to where all the melee that are attacking them aren't getting hit by the arcane explosion of the other guys. It was a little rough where we pulled it out because we were choked out in the doorway. It was just getting rain of fire and hitting everyone, so we moved a little farther back. Same for this pack, except we run a little farther into it to give more room. But same concept, just pull out the squires, get them stacked together where melee can cleave them. If you end up with one or two of the other guys, you just taunt them, hold them there. It's not bad, you just don't want them all there. And then once they get low, you can just nuke them down. I messed up there. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, so I blew my fear, which is a big problem we have in these pats. Is a lot of us will forget to blow the fear on that pack, warrior fear specifically, because if you use it on these, you run the risk of one of them running into another pack or running into the boss. But if you don't use your fear, you're gonna get like everyone feared, and we've seen raids get feared. You know, the MC people fear the other people in the raid into the boss, which pulls the whole room and is typically a wipe, depending on how much trash is still up. But yeah, just calling out on the previous pack to blow fears is super useful. And then right before you pull these, you get the priest to blow their psychic screams and stuff like that. I don't remember if we get this one. I think we're just out of range. Yeah, we turned around. We're gonna try and grab it, but it just out of range. So we'll keep clearing around counterclockwise here. We found going in the middle of these is a little better for getting them grouped up, as opposed to just running into the right pack or left pack. Which is a little better stack of them, and you can extract the other ones easier. And same with all the other of these packs, you're just gonna pull them off. Now, having someone specifically assigned to dispels on the tanks is very useful, because these guys just chain hodge the tanks. Grab this other MC pack. Should have used a potion of some kind here. I used my sapper on the last pack, and I think I'm going to use... I think I'll use a sapper on this one, unless I hold it for boss. I don't remember if I'm holding this goblin sapper for the boss or not. I think I use it here, though. And I probably should, because there should be enough time. Yeah, we got another another trash pack. Nah, I didn't use it. Oh, that probably because I was getting the pally time for threat. So that's the other thing too. Like if you're blowing sappers right away as prot, you can rip from the pally, which then you're getting stuff out of position. Yeah, they were like all. Do I use it? Yeah, I do. A little bit of a waste. Most of them are dead. But hey, extra damage, getting it done. At least I'm using it. Should definitely pot here right now, because we're gonna pull the boss next. I'll hold the pot. Should have potted the last one. I'll hold my trinkets here, because we got the boss incoming. I think I just taunt that off jocks. Yep, there we go. Make sure I have a full rage bar for this, and then swapping gear. I'm going to dual wield for this fight. She's just fast, and usually it's not even on the tank. Lets me get a little bit better threat, lead, and even in the second phase, just doesn't hit hard at all. I'm in a mix of pretty much what I wear for my threat gear, and then I just have the King's Defender as an offhand. And yeah, just heroic strike, devastate. really it. And even then, like I'm still really not taking a ton of damage. I'm most likely gonna throw on even more DPS gear at this point. She just does not hit hard at all. Which will really all come down sub 20% to see, you know, how much she's hitting for. I'll pay more attention here. But yeah, pretty confident I'll just do 100% DPS gear next time. Alright, so we're going to the second phase. We're all going to stack up. Just have a grenade, so my sapper wasn't up quite yet. A little disappointing. I'd rather have the super sapper there at any point. So then we just have each tank pick up one of the beams to pick up whatever's there, and then we drag them together. Use mages to counterspell or interrupt, whatever you gotta do. And then once they're stacked up, just cleave them down. I got quite a decent threat lead over everyone else, so going into second or third phase, whatever you want to consider, the Void Reaver one, of plenty of lead. I think I just swapped a battle stance and started executing. Yeah, I do, which definitely worthwhile. So really not hitting me for hard at all. Not a strain on the healers. I'm definitely gonna wear more DPS gear next time. Just equipping some rocket boots. We got a long run over to the Void Reaver trash, so we'll get a use out of those. Ideally should have had those queued up so we can just pop them right away. Still have my dual wield gear on. I think I just forgot to. Oh, there we go. Yep, switch back to my threat gear with the shield. A lot more running when not doing anything in TK, it seems. Things are much more spread out. And a big difference between SSC and TK is you've got a lot more of smaller packs, so like 3 or 4 mob packs. So it's better for that small cleave, or I guess you could pull 2 potentially to get, you know, bigger cleave. There's really just those big packs of the 2 packs of the squires in them that have the big AoEs. That's the only ones in here. Alright, so we're just waiting for this guy to patrol around, pick him up. This guy does his little cleave thing when he gets low. We have tried pulling this guy with the other 2 ones that do the overcharge, and it's usually okay. The countercharge you do run an issue with because he starts cleaving, so if you get the trample and a countercharge on someone, they're probably just gonna die. So just for safety wise, we kept them separate. Just get these stacked. I probably didn't run as far as I did, but definitely need to use more potions on trash. As I use it, as I say it, okay, at least I'm using it. Got a sapper here as well. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back a couple seconds. I think he casts overcharge on the one that the pally tank gonna tab over. He gets him down to like 10% health. I just taunt it. because I was afraid he was going to melee and kill him. That's just watching out for the other tank if it's not a warrior. Just making sure that he doesn't die after getting the overcharge. And I don't remember if that happens again here, but it's just something to be aware of. Like, you know, watch out for your other tank if he's not a warrior able to reflect it. Getting chicken set up. Get the overcharge, which I fumbled and didn't hit the reflect. Watch out for synchro at taunt again because he got super low. I think these guys are the hardest hitting trash in here, the little countercharge ones. They're just probably the hardest hitting thing in here in general. Even then, it's really, really not bad. Just burn this guy down. I put my chicken on way too early because we have to clear out like this entire room before we're still going to use it. That was a bit of a waste there. Although I guess there could be a good argument for just getting your squawk buffs up for the trash itself, just as they're on cooldown. For a speedrun, you'll get more use out of it. Obviously, you'll parse better on bosses if you have it for the boss, but just uptime of it for all the pulls is probably better. We're gonna pull what 1, 2, 3 more before I'll basically use the chicken. So yeah, definitely didn't need to have it on. I could use another trinket in the meantime. Yeah. Potion sappers, same thing as the SSE. Excuse me, just need to step up my game for that. So these guys will just randomly target someone and chuck a bunch of axes in that direction. We tend to pull it into the middle of people so that it spreads the damage out a little better. It's just because you'll see all the range stacked to the right here. So if you just, like that guy's doing, he breaks loose and he just chucks it at everyone at once. Taunt him and you just kind of pull it into people, get people spread around him a little better. Kind of forcing them into the right position. I think I finally realized that, yeah, I'm just like, why do I have this on so far? Such a different trinket. Yeah, we're way too close to the range there. Kind of blundered that pull and pulled it on top. So those guys do Arcade Explosion as well as the overcharge. And we're just nuking all the ranged. Same thing, gets hit super hard, give a taunt just to buy some time. He can always taunt back, it's more just to give the healers a second to catch up. So both of them breaking at once isn't ideal because they'll start interrupting casting and whatnot. I almost got one of the mages. I think we're waiting out the banish in 1 second. So now I queue up the chicken so that this would be the time to actually do it. They're way too early before. And the reason for that is you wanted to equip this pack so you'll fight with it on the next pack, but the 30-second cooldown for swapping will start to go away. I guess I just swapped. Oh, I was just putting it on a different keybind, I guess. To it was close, almost died there. Yeah, I was just swapping the trinkets around for some reason. I'm not really even sure why I did that. I think I just wanted it on the other keybind for my memory's sake. So the Devastator does do a knockback every so often. You can get knocked back into other trash, so just have Intervene ready, or Intercept, either one really, to make sure you don't get knocked in a bad spot. It's also why you pull it farther away, because you want to get knocked into Void Reaver and start the boss encounter. I kind of just drag him in the middle, let him do his stuff all around. I think this next pack, we kind of mess up on the Sentinels again, where we get them way too close to the ranged. So we popped chicken. Actually, I kind of agree with that. We popped chicken on that pack because we can use it on this pack, and then we'll have it for the boss as well. Because otherwise, we're just kind of like running through trash and whatnot with the, or not even just running to trash with the debuff or the buff. Yeah, we're still a little close to the ranged here, and they're gonna get hit a little bit. Yeah, I didn't have enough rage for the reflect. So that's definitely a blunder there. I want to make sure I have it. Or at least hold blood rage so I can always on demand do that. Should definitely just devastate spam this guy. I think I was just trying to hold rage, but should have gotten Sunders up for a faster kill. I was just trying to pull him into the group a little bit, but someone ripped, went back in there, and I should taunt again, hopefully soon. Yeah. At this point, I just want a full rage bar going into the boss, or as close to it as possible. So there's a couple ways to do this. This is actually real big. I didn't even notice until we pull, but I've got this armor debuff on me here. I have 2 stacks of it. So I've got very, very little armor at this point, and the first hit on the boss just pretty much almost kills me. I dual wield on this boss as well, because typically he doesn't hit very hard at all. Was checking to make sure I was still crit capped, which I am, mostly through resilience. So we go in there, and I still have, what, 5 seconds by the time I get to the boss? Or 3 seconds? Yeah. So the first couple hits just wreck me super hard. I almost die, pop a last stand, and then it falls off. And then from here, he doesn't hit nearly as hard. So that was just something I did not pay attention to. Something that was a little bit dangerous there is I did take that first knockback, but I was definitely still higher on threat. He will chase people sometimes. So if he knocked me back and chased me, it makes all of the people that are standing underneath him valid targets for the sphere that he throws out, and you can easily wipe your raid that way. So just be ready to get an intercept back in. Luckily, he was doing pounding at the time, so he didn't move. I'm just trying to, get threat back here. Definitely have sappered at some point. I think I was just freaked out at the beginning from almost dying, so I wasn't trying to take extra damage. Building a threat lead for the next knockaway. And then I think I switched to DPS after I get this next knockaway as well. Yep, there we go. I should switch over to battle and just execute. Or Berserker. Yeah, that works too. A little more dangerous if he turns and starts hitting me, but odds are he'll be okay. And just trying to finish off that boss. It's under, yep, got it. So he got the knock away, still first threat, and fights over at that point. So, big takeaway there, watch the debuffs. Don't go into that fight with the armor debuff on you. Specifically not a 2-stack, that's super bad. We'll make our way over to the AT trash. So I'm a fairly big fan of week wars and whatnot. I have a lot of stuff going on there. It just helps for reminders, I think, and getting stuff set up. So I'm most likely going to do one for my explosive cooldown, because I feel like that's the thing I need to improve the most upon. I'll probably end up doing something with that here to get a little better reminder of like, hey, you know, I need to get that explosive used. I feel like for the most part, trinkets I've done okay with. Potion, not terrible, but I could use a little improvement there. However, sometimes I do just want to hold a potion for whatever reason. Rarely, you know, a couple exceptions, but usually don't want to hold explosive. I'm just getting Sunders up on all these. I should go mark the next pack, I think. Yeah. And we're pulling it down. There's some line of sight issues on this little hill, and our pally tank didn't get the memo. He ran up a little too far, but both healers and mages struggle with there's like a little hump where those crystals are, and just creates some line of sight issues. We trying to pull down. It was a little bit of a messy pull. But once we get it cleaned up a little, we'll just stack and AoE it. I think I'm just looking for loose stuff right now. There, yeah, I'm trying to get the X. I think the taunt resisted, got a mocking blow on it. And then I'm gonna get another taunt on it. Yep, right there. Oh, it was on the skull. Baron got the X. Okay. So especially with you have a hectic pull or something goes wrong, you're just going around tabbing through trying to figure out who's got what and what needs to be picked up. That's something else I've worked on past couple days is I'm gonna try to use the LVUI nameplates. We were able to find some extra things you can do with it to see like who has threat. You can write their name on the nameplate itself. And I was struggling figuring out how to make Platter do that. I'm gonna run this week with LVUI with that to see if that helps out with picking up, because if you know, you obviously see the name on there. If you know someone's not supposed to have that one, you can get right to that one instead of having to tab through a bunch. Makes it a little bit cleaner to see. Now, we definitely kind of stutter stepped for too long there. We should have went right into this pull. We were, the last one kind of was a little funky with pull was just a little messed up. So the sheep, the triangle there, got pulled into the AoE. Once that happens, there's usually a ton of bleeds and everything on it. It's not going to get resheeped unless you're spamming it. So usually we'll pick it up, but it looks like he just spammed it. I don't have a great camera angle anymore. Same thing, diamond breaks, they just pick it up. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up triangle here. I'm just gonna spam sheep on them so that they can't do that twirl. And then Baron brings them a little bit closer so that we can get full AoE on them and just spam sheep on both of them and burn them down. Yeah, it's those things are just so rough for melee. They hit incredibly hard, incredibly fast. So it's if the sheeps aren't getting spammed right away, it's melee are just gonna get nuked. And for these packs, we just pull the martial out a little bit, just to melee can avoid the AoE when he spins around like that. Stack up the other 3 and just AoE. We try and pull that X close enough to where seeds are still hitting it. Yeah, so they can cast on that and go back and forth. The knight will spam Hodge on the tank, so we want to make sure we're dispelling it. I'm not sure why Jox died. Might have been a lot of a stunned, he ripped aggro. I don't see where his body is. Right in the middle, yeah. And most likely during the stun he got aggro rip. Finish off this guy. We're gonna leave the trash pack up in the back to the right that I haven't looked at yet. So just to the right of camera, there's a pack back there. We leave that one there. It's just you don't have to clear it for the speed run. You technically don't even have to clear this one or any of these in this room. It's just how much room you want to have available for kiting. So we opted to clear these 2, and then we just kite back and forth across this area for KT. So definitely you should have used Sapper on the bull here. That would have cleaned it up a lot for pickup. I think Synchro had pretty good aggro on both these. Yeah, he's doing pretty good on those. I think I'd sunder up a bunch and then just start to build rage. At this point we'd already started the event. We had someone run up there and just trigger it. And this is just for the RP. You can see Thaladred's activating here soon. So I'm gonna run over there. Once he does his initial activation, he does his shout, that's the silence. And then I run in. I'll get a thunderclap and demo just to reduce the chance of him just one-shotting someone. Get some sunders up on him for some more damage. I just sit here and tank him just to get better DPS uptime and so we can get him in a better position. Phase 1 does not hit very hard in a tank, so we can just sit there and him focusing is great. Everyone else is able to get positioned to kite him over where we want him so we can kill him right in the center. Right about here is where we ideally want to kill him for our strategy. So, I mean, that's close enough at that point. Then I'm going to pick up all 3 of these as they activate, just to get him in position. So Fear Word helps out. You obviously don't need it as a warrior. You can Berserker Rage, but having especially because he does it right away, having a full Rage bar I can dump into him and not having to worry about stance dancing is good. So just pump right into him, get him to where we want him to be for phase 4 or 3, 4, whatever it is, when they reactivate. So what I always try to do on Capernian is get right here in her range and spam a shout, because I usually can eat that first fireball. And then I'm just going to get Sunders up, so whenever she casts fireball, I will wait till she actually casts to run in there and sunder, otherwise she can do the arcane explosion if she's not casting something, which will knock back and snare you. But if you go in while she's doing fireball, I can get sunders up. More damage for the hunters at that point. And then I'll just toss them their own weapon. I do the same thing in when they activate again. I will just get sunders as well as the dagger debuff up on her and on Thaldred. So get this guy in position. We stack these two together for melee to cleave off of. So just get him into a good spot. So I can pull him a little farther. You can kind of dance these bombs back and forth, but what we found is it'll tend to get the pets hit with the bombs if you do that, like if you dance left and right. Picking up the Cosmic Infuser. So, yep, actually Sapper there, so good. I was wondering if I was going to or not. So Sapper, Demo, Thunderclap, all that kind of good stuff. Once the mace is down, I pick up the Devastator so that the Druid can get the staff and the mace. Also, Concussion Blow is really good on this guy. Wait for him to do his whirl and just stun him so he doesn't do damage. We take him just outside so melee isn't getting hit by AoE if he spins, but the AoE damage is hitting him. And then just stun just removes that whirl completely. Once he gets his staff, he taunts back. I'll grab my Infinity Blade, Warp Slicer, and Shield. And get those guys equipped. And then prep up for the next phase. Decent bit of downtime here. Just the thing with TK is a lot of stuff on timer, so you really can't do anything to speed it up. So as we go in here, Thaldred almost always knocks someone back immediately. Yep, so he hit air that time. I find if you're the closest one to him, he'll just knock you back, which I was trying to soak originally, but because I'm the one applying the dagger debuff to him so that range can kill him a little faster, it ends up being better if someone else gets hit by a knockback. I was having a weird issue here where I kept getting the conflag. Usually the staff debuff should prevent me from getting it, which I do have on me. However, it was still constantly conflagging me. And I was getting frustrated because it happened like 4 or 5 times. I think, yeah, the dagger debuff, no, he'll die before it falls off, but it was close. And then I don't think I ever get a full 5 stack in Capernian. Yeah, I'm just getting chained. I think I get other people conflagged. At least I get the 5 stack up. I still haven't gotten 5 sunders yet. Which isn't a big deal because the hunters are on the melee mobs anyway. But yeah, I get that up and then I get in position for KT activating. And then I'm just gonna pump threat. KT himself does not hit hard at all. That's really just the fireballs that hit hard, which 100% should be interrupted, but you know, that's gotta get everyone on board with the interrupts. But no single one should go through. Just shift a little bit left or right whenever there's a flame strike, just to keep the melee and pets out of it. I should have gotten Leo there. I should have broke him. He was literally right next to me. So since I already have the dagger on, I might as well have broken them out, but it's something to improve next time. Should have absolutely potted. I don't know why I didn't pot there. Use my trinkets though. I'm gonna shift him back to where he was. Yeah, haste pot would have been huge for the pickup. Big blunder. Should also sapper too. That's backup. I could sapper and haste pot for initial threat. We get shock barrier up. I pop the shield, which is I think it's 30 or 40,000 damage absorb. They get the kickoff, but it's just in case something happens. And it just reduces damage for a few seconds. I was putting up the dagger debuff on this guy. Yeah, just get some dagger debuff on him. Then I was snaring. Yep. Do I? Yeah. Battle stance. I hamstring both these. Just help with kiting. And then we'll nuke down this egg. The other one will blow up. I think someone runs in there by accident. Breaking MCs. Nah, I should have just sat on him and built rage on that egg. Well, I guess I didn't need to get back. So it should pot here. Should haste pot, absolutely. And super sapper, because it's backup. Using trinkets on cooldown, and then just... So I had 2 black orbs things spawn right on me here, and just immediately got some debuffs. Yeah, I got 1 right there. And then as I was... Yep, 2. That was... a little bit shitty on my end. I should have not been as close while those were spawning. Luckily it was right at the beginning, so by the time this gravity lapse is over, I only have like 35 seconds left. And I just Nightmare Seed right away. Yep, so Nightmare Seeded, and then I think a last stand here in a second or two. To last the last few. Yeah, I think I pop it like right here. Yep. The last stand, so kind of counteracts the 2 nether vapors that I have on me. And they'll fade right around when last stand fades. I think there's like a second or 2 seconds that it'll last on me longer. But at this point, I'm just battle stand, spam and execute. And that is AT down. Oh yeah. So overall, I mean, our TK was very clean. We didn't have a ton. A lot of it was just trash deaths, and we could definitely improve on that. As always, I keep hitting myself. I'm gonna do some kind of weak core for explosives and potions just to get a little better use out of it. Well, potions I like to hold sometimes. Probably just the explosive to flash on my screen a little more knowingly. But yeah, it was just over, what was it, 51 or 52:11 was our final time. I forgot to pause the timer. And yeah, so I just like to self-evaluate, you know, when we do a run, see what I can improve on, just for better play and whatnot. And just want to put it up here and see if it helps anyone else out. And hope it was helpful for some of you. And thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.